All right, greetings everybody, and welcome to week number 15. That is right, week number 15 of your 9407 class, which is your intellectual freedom class. As always, I'm your professor, Dr. Jace K. Austin, and what we are going to do in this final week, week 15, is I'm going to have a few closeout thoughts for you. And then I'm also going to redirect your attention also to a new discussion prompt that I put into the class and that sort of thing, to see if you all may be interested in doing a Zoom meeting on this coming Friday, or what I would recommend actually would be next Wednesday, during exams, because a lot of times people actually don't want to give that Friday up. They actually want to, on the reading day evening, they actually want to go to a physical bar or something like that and do something. So I do think that the Wednesday will be the better option, but again, that's why we have a discussion board prompt. Go ahead and let me know what you think. But we are going to go ahead and look at that and look at a few other things. And then I'm going to close out by sharing first. Okay, so that's going to be part of the state of the course update. That's going to include reviewing that announcement about reading day. But then after that, after the state of the course update, then from there, first I'm going to share the survey results for the survey that you all did about who won the debate and that sort of thing. I'm going to share those briefly, or at least a synopsis of those. And then after that, I am going to share some closing thoughts. I'm going to invoke Neil deGrasse Tyson again, but I'm going to invoke something that I didn't realize that he had said a little while back that I think he is absolutely right on. So, and it's some food for thought that I think is going to be good for closing out the class. So with that said, let's go ahead and get into it with that state of the course update. Let me make myself small here. All right. So, again, with the state of the course update, the main thing, actually, let's close some of these out. We are on December the 9th. So we've got this announcement. You've got your intellectual freedom in comedy. That's going to be the final discussion board prompt. Like I told you all, I kind of do this as a bookend sort of thing where you have lighter topics the first week and the last week. So the first week we did intellectual freedom and free speech on campus, and this week we are doing intellectual freedom and comedy. These things still do matter, but they are not as heavy into the library focus or into the First Amendment as what we were talking about earlier in the semester. So, and by the way, yes, I am getting caught up on grading. This is going to be, I mean, it's been kind of a challenging semester for everybody. So when I say it's been a challenging semester for everybody, myself is included in that. So, I am trying to get caught up. But you all have done overall fine. I've got advocacy letters to still grade, and I got to catch up on discussion boards, and then the final papers that you turn in, I'll of course have to grade those. But I'm actually not as in bad shape as you all might want to think. So if you haven't gotten your advocacy letter back, that's going to be very quick and easy to grade. So I'll be trying to get those back to you this week before reading day, if at all possible. But if I don't make that work still, I'll be grading throughout the next couple weeks and everything, and you'll be getting grades, and you'll be getting notices as grades come. And if you have questions, just let me know. But I think that for the most part, you all are going to be okay, because you all have done just fine and kept up very, very well throughout the semester. So I'm really not worried about you all. But if you are worried, just keep in touch with me. And again, as grades come, as I get caught up, you will get announcements on, or notices from Canvas on the grades and everything. So there you go. Your final paper, remember, if you were a debate participant or if you were my co-moderator, you do not have to do the final paper. Your grades have already been entered for that. And yeah, let's look at this announcement really quick here. So here's, again, what I want to do, or what I want you all to be thinking of. If you go into this announcement here, then what you're going, if you go into the discussion board prompt here, after you go into that announcement, then what you're going to see is this. So, I know you all have a busy week ahead, but if you are interested in doing basically again, a Zoom happy hour, that's what this is going to be about, again, you all need to network now. You absolutely need to network now. Networking is going to be harder for you all than it was for me because I was in an on-campus program at North Carolina Central. So, I actually would like have lunch with my classmates sometimes or that sort of thing. I kept in touch with some of my classmates, outside of class and that sort of thing. We helped each other. That I say that to say that yes, you are going to want to, network now, network with your classmates. And because you can't do that in the on-campus and in the physical, then I recommend that you do it here via Zoom. And I would recommend next Wednesday as opposed to reading day. People just kind of like that midweek, oh, okay, I'm in the middle of exams, but now I can just kind of cool out, attend this little Zoom thing and just have a drink or have a little smoke and talk to my classmates and have it be, just have it be relaxed. It does not have to follow any formal prompt or anything like that. You don't have to be on your best behavior because I'm not going to be there. No, don't do anything that's going to get you in trouble. Again, I don't need you all like sexually harassing each other or anything like that. Please don't do that. But as far as, following the student code of conduct and everything, as long as you do that, I don't necessarily need to be there. This is, again, a chance for you all. Because when I went to lunch with my classmates, and things like that back when I was in school, our professors didn't go with us. It was us. And so that's what I want you all to do. Or want you all to consider. So yeah, just reply to this if you're interested. Oh, and we've already got people who have replied. I'm sorry. I'll look at that. But yeah, reply to that if you're interested. And if so, then what I'm going to do, I'll probably designate somebody to be the host, and then I'll make them, I'll set it up, I'll get it started, and then I'll leave, and whoever I made the co-host will become host at that time, and they can host through it. You would probably also maybe even need to be a leader, so, be ready to do that. But I know that there should be some tips online or, things that you can do on a Zoom meeting to kind of keep people focused and everything. I don't know if you want to try some impromptu bingo or if you all are younger than me. So if there are games that you can play with each other on Zoom that you know about that I don't, by all means, it is your time. It is your time. All right. So, that is pretty much it with that. Let me know what you're thinking on that. And from there, let's go into, that's it for the state of the course update, and that's your last state of the course update for this semester or for this course. So from here, let's go into looking at those survey results for the intellectual freedom debate, the hate speech debate. All right, so the first thing we're going to do from here, now that the state of the course update is over, is I'm going to share those survey results really quickly, and I'm going to share those in the announcement as well, because again, these check-in videos are optional. So I want the people who did not want to watch the check-in video to also be able to see the results of that. So we're going to go ahead and look at those right now. That's not going to take a long time. And I'm actually going to tell you about the raw scores because I actually don't want to show the distribution to everybody for the rates of the performances. But I'm also going to let you know something that's kind of quirky and I don't know why it did this, but something quirky that Qualtrics did. So you are going to have to just kind of trust me on this when I say that, when I tell you that the results are what they are, when I tell you what the results are, just kind of trust me because again, something a little quirky is going on in Qualtrics and I need to probably relearn how to do Qualtrics correctly. So, the main question was that first question, who do you think won the debate? We had 3 for a tie or NA. By the way, we had 17 total responses, which is a very, very good response rate. I have a total of 26 students in here and, doing that math. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that's, almost a 100% response rate, actually. That's really, really good. So, with that said, we have, again, 3 voted tie. We had, 5 responses that said the group that argued against hate speech, which was Becca and others, 5 responses saying that they had quote unquote won. And then we had 9 responses saying that, Ted's group, the group that was in favor of hate speech having First Amendment, protections. The group in favor of hate speech having First Amendment protections, which was Ted's group. Again, they had 9 and then 5 for against hate speech having, First Amendment protections. So, in interpreting that, yeah, so you do have, first of all, the majority didn't go, actually, hold on, let me make sure my math is right before I say that. And again, I'm glad I checked because my math wasn't right. So we had 9 people who said that, the group that argued in favor of hate speech having First Amendment protections. We had 9 people who said that they won, whereas 8 people said either they didn't win or others. So the majority actually did go to that side. However, and again, you're just going to have to trust me on this because, and one thing that you're seeing, I don't know why it did that, but for the next 2 questions, when I updated out of, it basically went to people. You saw on your end that it was, doing this with the names of the people in our class, so Ted and Becca. But on this side, it went to Wyatt and Blake, who were in previous classes. So I don't know why it did that on my end, but it updated on your end. So again, you're just going to have to trust me on this because, yeah. So as far as scores and how you all rated them on a scale of 9 to 10, you actually did rate them very, very highly. Excuse me. Okay, and Dr. J Slide, I just said that I wasn't going to do the distribution, and now I am going to show you all as the class the distribution because also Qualtrics did something else wonky, so I had to use my own math in order to come up with the scores of how you all averaged on a scale of 1 to 10, basically. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about there. That's a image of AI image of imagining me if I were younger. Yeah, that's totally how I was. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, all right. So I am going to go ahead and show the distributions because I had to go ahead and do the math. I don't know what's going on with Qualtrics, but it didn't display this the way I wanted it to either. So I just did the math myself and came up with the averages there. Having said that, so yes, here is what we are looking at. This is for the losing group. You had a, well, not the losing group. Let me just make sure that it's clear that everybody is a winner in my group. I thought everybody did well, and everybody else really thought that everybody did well because you'll see that these scores actually don't average out to be that different. So I won't say the losing group, but what I'll say is the group that was against hate speech having First Amendment protections. This is how the responses there kind of came out. And by the way, one thing that I want you all to be aware of is that, yeah, nobody got lower on either side, got lower than a 5, okay? So some people thought that 5 is, which was average, was as well as they done. But then also you have 2 10s there, which the other group only has 1 perfect. This one has 2 perfect. So you can see that, you know, averages can be kind of deceptive, and you have to look at means and modes and all those things too. Means, medians, and modes and all those things if you really, really want to get some good descriptive statistics going. But in this case, yeah, we're going to keep it pretty basic. So yeah, again, once you average all these out, you come to Becca's group having an overall score of 7.7 out of 10. Now, let me tell you, again, that's not going to be that different from the other side. So when we scroll down here, and again, I had to do this math myself, so hopefully I'm right. I believe I am. When we scroll down here, as you can see, you do have, like, in this one, you had like 3 averages compared to just 1. But then also here you only have 1 perfect compared to here you have a, 2 perfects. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, things can kind of be a little different there. You do have a slightly, well, let me put it this way. So your mode in either case is going to be 8, but here you see that the mode, you had 9 people go with the mode, and here you only had 6 people go with the mode, and that's because you did trend a little higher toward 9 here than you did earlier. So the winning group, Ted's group, quote unquote, the winning group, your overall score was 7.88 compared to 7.7. So I say that to say that's not a dramatic difference at all. 0.18 of a percent, 0.18, that is not a big difference. So again, 7.7 out of 10 and then 7.88 out of 10, that is very, very close. So it looks like your classmates thought you all were basically right basically like even with each other. You know what I'm saying? Yes, there was a winner, but the winner only had a slight edge. And that's the winner according to your classmates' scores. But again, for me, everybody's a winner, so I need to pick my words a little more carefully. Yeah, you all did fantastic, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope that you all had as much fun with it as I did. Now, as far as individual comments, as I mentioned earlier, individual comments, the individual comments are only going to be shared with the debating teams. The comment feedback is not going to be shared with the class, but I do appreciate you all providing that. Okay, and hopefully I'll figure out what I did wrong with Qualtrics, and I'll be able to let Qualtrics do its own math next time around, but that doesn't help you. Anyway, let's go into the final thing, and then I will close out, and thank you all for being here. Okay, so the final thing that I want to talk about is actually this right here. So I spoke about Neil deGrasse Tyson earlier. In the semester when I talked about his deep fake. I talked about that on one of the check-in videos, but now I've come across something else that I want to share, and it's the reason this is interesting to me is because if it happens the way Neil deGrasse Tyson predicts that it's going to happen, then a prediction that I heard is going to come full circle, and I hope that that prediction is going to be something that makes you all a little more confident in the future of libraries. So here's one thing that I heard way back when I was in library school. And keep in mind, I was in library school from 2006 to 2008. So we're talking about nearly 20 years ago, my people. But nearly 20 years ago, when I was worried and I was asking my professors at North Carolina Central, I was asking them, hey, what is the fate of the internet? Is the internet still going to be around? What's gonna happen? I'm not sure. Not what's the fate of the internet, actually more so along the lines of what's the fate of libraries. Are libraries still going to be around? This is one of my off days, clearly. But yeah, are libraries still going to be around? I was worried. I was like, should I even pursue this degree? Is this going to be a worthless degree? And people were telling me, I'm not exactly sure why you're getting a library science degree. Things are going to go remote. They're not going to be libraries in a few years, and I was hearing that. And one thing because I know some of you are definitely hearing that as well. So first of all, I do want to, again, remind you, I think I've said this before, but I want to remind you, people have been predicting the death of libraries since the days of microfiche and microfilm. Okay. So yeah, I say that to say that, it's been a long time, and all the stuff that other people have said is going to kill libraries hasn't killed us yet. They said that microfilm and microfiche was going to kill libraries. Instead, we incorporated those things. They said that the internet was going to kill libraries, and instead we incorporated that. And then they said social media was going to help accelerate the death of libraries, and now we incorporate that in what we do. So, of course, there are going to be those who say that AI is now going to be the death of libraries, because, and quite frankly, I will admit, ChatGPT, it does a really good job of answering certain reference questions, but right now I have gotten wrong information, so that needs to be checked behind as well. It is an advanced search tool. It is not something that actually, at least for ChatGPT, I'll say it's an advanced search tool, but it's still not something that really is as good at knowing what's right and wrong and what's best for humans as people want to pretend it does. Anyway, so here is what I'm looking at right here. And this is something that, if this happens, it will come full circle, because when I was in library school all those years ago, one thing that I can't remember who said this quote, but I remember this being a popular quote at the time in circa 2007. When people were asking, okay, well, will the internet kill libraries? And I heard the response, libraries will outlive the internet. And that was a radical thing that it hit us at the time, because we were like, well, the internet's here to stay. Nothing's going to kill the internet. But this person at that time said libraries will outlive the internet. Now, look at what Neil deGrasse Tyson says here, and think about this as potential for hope. Potential that this is not the end of us, which is not the end of us anyway. But when you have somebody high profile and somebody who's not vested in libraries, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, still saying something like this, I think that it carries a lot of weight. Check him out.
AI will kill the internet. Really? That's my prediction. There are people who believe the fake news as true. when AI becomes so good at creating deep fakes, even the people who believe the fake news will no longer believe that the fake news is true.
Right.
Because the risk of this fake news being fake is so high that the entire internet will lose its integrity, and it will be buried under the weight of its own falsities, of its own, and the inability
to check itself into
correct. Because there are people just putting fake information on there because AI can do it. AI can do it like this. First there's fake voice, fake image, fake video, and someone sampled 2 minutes of my voice. However, there's always sampling my voice, not my literacy, not my education level.
Then where does information attacks come from? Because everyone
People will recover in the timeline of knowledge. They will recover the true value of an expert.
All
AI
right.
will
So,
kill the
let me. So you have that, and I'm actually going to play. I believe it's this one as well. Oh, actually, I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. All right, so I want you all to see this one as well, to see that he is pretty much staying true to this idea in 2 different interviews.
I foresee the day when AI becomes so good at making a deep fake that the people who believe fake news as true will no longer think their fake news is true because they'll think their fake news was faked by AI. The day that happens, the entire role of the internet as a source of objectively true information will implode. And that will be the death of the internet. As that source, like 1992 to 2028, whatever. Rest in peace. And the internet will return to just cat videos because AI will be so good at faking news. I foresee that.
All right, so I actually think that this is plausible, and I think as you saw in that first video, and I'll put links to these things in the announcement. Yeah, I think that this is plausible. I think that this can absolutely happen. And when people were saying back in 2007 that they believed that libraries would outlive the internet, you saw that he said people are going to come back to books. We've got to get back to, no, that's the thing. We got to stop AI from taking over publishing in that case. But yeah, when people come back to books and journal articles and things that are going through a review process and that sort of thing, and they're not just listening to every influencer and that sort of thing, I think we'll be in a better place. But, this is food for thought, and it's something that I'm going to leave with you because I want to leave with you all some encouragement that despite what everybody has been saying for decades about this piece of technology will replace libraries and that piece of technology will replace libraries, we have made it through. We are still here, and I think we're going to make it through with the AI as well. We're going to incorporate AI into some of what we do, but also I do think that it's plausible that Neil deGrasse Tyson is right in that there's going to be so much faking going on that people will lose trust in the internet. But we'll see. We'll have to see how that goes. And that is an adventure that we're going to go on together as information professionals going forward. So I look forward to being on that journey with you. If you are graduating, congratulations. If you are not graduating, then hopefully I will see you in another course. But if this is the last course that you're going to have with me, just know that I enjoyed the experience and I hope you all did as well. I am Dr. Jace, and this holiday is not one to waste. Get some rest, get some good times in with people, refresh. It's been rough. There are rougher times ahead, but you all are going to get through them. God made rough times for all of us. Take care. Thank you.